Hi there, my name is Nate Phillips. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through my CD collection, one by one, CD by CD. Usually I do music performance videos on this channel. However, sometimes I like to throw in something different like this. I've done some tutorial videos and this just seemed like an interesting idea to explore and just try something different here. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. So, first of all, I want to take a moment just to talk about the system here. I have two Bose 301 Series V speakers. The CD changer is a 6 CD changer you can see here. It's called the Onkyo, sorry, out of focus here. Onkyo DXC390, you can see there. And it's a 6 CD changer, like so, right? Yeah, so in September, I bought this CD changer and the Bose speakers. The stereo receiver we already had, that belonged to my parents. It's just a Yamaha receiver. I'm not sure what model. But we had a CD changer before that. The CDs were skipping and I couldn't find a way to fix it. I tried fixing it, but it wasn't working. So then I just bought this Onkyo one, and we didn't really have good speakers, so I bought the Bose speakers, and that's my setup. All right, so let's get started here. Let me get my CDs. Okay, so let's get started. First off, I know I have the complete discography for Radiohead and Coldplay, and I almost have all of, I'm just missing one for the Gorillaz. So that's all in this first box, and I'll start with that. So yeah, Radiohead, Pablo Honey. Not the greatest album, but it is their debut album, so I have it. I literally just bought this yesterday. Then we have number 2, The Bends. I like this one. This was one of the first Radiohead albums that I probably consumed entirely. And so this was, in a way, my introduction to Radiohead, more so than OK Computer even, or any of their better known stuff. Then we have, of course, OK Computer, the third album. This is the OK Not OK disc that was released in 2017. So it has some bonus tracks, even though I haven't even listened to those that much. But I like having it anyways. Then we have onward with the Radiohead discography, Kid A, Amnesiac. I like Amnesiac a lot. Yeah, I like Amnesiac a lot, The Bends, and King of Limbs. Amnesiac and King of Limbs I like because they're sort of, because of the experimental and electronic aspects. Hail to the Thief. Again, a lot of overlooked tracks. Really good stuff. Yeah, so I seem to enjoy some of the less popular Radiohead as much as the popular stuff, like, if that makes sense. And then we have Tom York, The Eraser, which is sort of in between well, it is in between. It's a solo album in between Hail to the Thief and In Rainbows. So moving on, In Rainbows, not much to be said there. Everyone loves that. King of Limbs. Another one that I absorbed really heavily, especially in high school. This came out in 2011 when I was in high school. And that was really when I was getting into Radiohead. So it was the first album that came out while I was a fan of them. Whereas 2007 with In Rainbows was too early. I wasn't a fan yet when that came out. The Moon-Shaped Pool, 2016. This I haven't listened to a lot yet, but this is another Tom York solo one. I don't know if the camera is focusing on that, but this one's called Anima by Tom York. I still have to listen to this more. This I literally also just bought yesterday along with Pablo Honey. So Pablo Honey completed the discography for me, but I didn't really need this Kid Amnesia since I already have Kid A and Amnesiac, as you saw. But just like with the OK Computer re-release, I wanted the bonus tracks. So I'll still have to listen to the bonus tracks at some point. Again, it's the kind of thing where it's nice to have them. I didn't really need to buy this, but that shows you how much of a fan I am. All right, so that's Radiohead. Next we have Coldplay. Coldplay has 9 studio albums. I guess I had 6 before, and I bought 3 of them yesterday. So now I have the full Coldplay discography as well. We have to start with Parachutes, the album of theirs I've probably listened to the most. Radiohead I've been a fan of for a really long time, like from high school through now. Coldplay has been more in the past 5 years or so. But before that, there was a big gap where I wasn't really a fan of them for a long time. But I got back into them recently. So Parachutes, probably one of my favorite of theirs. Rush of Blood to the Head, also really good. I mean, everyone seems to love these first 3. What's this one? X and Y. Yeah. All those are really good. Viva La Vida, also good. I don't know it as well as those first 3. I'll have to listen to it more. I mean, I know the tracks, but I haven't listened to it as much as those first 3. Same with Milo Xyloto. It has some tracks I really like on here, especially in the beginning. Hurts Like Heaven and Paradise. Even Charlie Brown. But again, just like Viva La Vida, I'm less clear on this one in terms of just how well I know it from listening to it. Ghost Stories, I like a lot. This was my first introduction to more recent Coldplay after not having heard them for a while, and this showed me that they were still pretty good. I liked it a lot. A Head Full of Dreams is the next one. I just bought this yesterday, so yeah, I bought this, Ghost Stories, and their most recent album yesterday. So again, don't know this super well. I'm just really not as familiar with the Coldplay discography as I am with Radiohead, but I have it, so I can listen to it. This is the Kaleidoscope EP. Again, I have these in chronological order, so this comes in between Head Full of Dreams and Everyday Life. So yeah, here's the next one, Everyday Life. This, I don't know if you can see, is like it's like a booklet, the CD case. Coldplay has some really beautiful just album art. in their last couple albums. This one, Head Full of Dreams, I was noticing. And Music of Spheres, and trying to get it so that it's in focus here. But yeah, Music of the Spheres. This is the most recent Coldplay. Similar to A Head Full of Dreams or Milo Xyloto, more on the pop, bright, upbeat pop side of Coldplay, which I know can throw people off. But there's some tracks I like on here, definitely. I don't know. Definitely, I don't know if it's as interesting as Everyday Life in terms of being experimental, but as a band, but still got some good stuff. So there you go, Coldplay discography, Radiohead, and now we move on to the Gorillaz. The Gorillaz first album, which is just self-titled Gorillaz. I think this is 2002 or 2003 or something. Sort of like Pablo Honey, I don't know this super well, but it is the debut album, so that's why I bought it, to sort of fill out the discography, but I'd like to listen to it more at some point. Demon Days, everyone knows and loves. Classic. Not much to say there. Plastic Beach. This is the third album in their discography. I think it was 2010, I want to say. Now, the only one I'm missing is the one from 2011, The Fall, which I used to have. So I only have probably around 100 or so CDs right now, but I used to have actually around 450 CDs before. And like an idiot, I got rid of them. And I just regret that. I wish I hadn't done it, but I did get rid of my CDs. I sold them to a record store, the same record store where I now still buy a lot of CDs, the Princeton Record Exchange. And I was big into minimalism for a while, so that's why I got rid of all these CDs. And maybe that was in like 2019 or something. And then throughout 2020 and into 2021, I was still missing the CDs. And I just got back into collecting in 2021, really. In the beginning of 2021, I had like no CDs. So I've all purchased these like in the past year, starting from scratch. But yeah, again, I used to have about 450 or so that I got rid of. And I did have this Gorillaz one, The Fall. I used to have so many CDs, but I guess I'll get back there someday. I don't want to get into a whole thing about minimalism and how I changed back to I don't consider myself a minimalist anymore. It didn't really do much for me in terms of my overall satisfaction or happiness or do the things that promise, but that's a topic for another day. So yeah, let's see here. Moving on with Gorillaz, we have Humans from 2017. I like this one. This had mixed reviews, but especially for music to like get you pumped up if I'm exercising or something, there's a lot of just really good. I don't even want to call it motivational, but the theme of this album was the end of the world party. And with that in mind, it is like a big party the whole way through this album, and it's good pump up music. But there's some good stuff on here. I'm not too harsh on this. Anyways, 2018, the Now. And we have Song Machine from 2020. And that's it for the Gorillaz. Okay, onwards. Like I said, those are the three big discographies that I sort of have: Radiohead, Coldplay, and the Gorillaz. But let's just move along here. So these four I bought yesterday. I have four from Death Cab for Cutie. So Transatlanticism from, I think, 2003, I believe. Some tracks I really like on here. I've just been getting back into them. Death Cab for Cutie. I only knew these two, Transatlanticism and Plans. This one's a classic. I did a cover of Crooked Teeth on this channel last year. But I've started listening to this more in the past year, and it's just, there's some albums that are just that have me hooked all the way through, and the more I listen to this one, that's the way it is. I can't find one boring spot on here, on Plans. And those are the two I know the best, but I haven't even listened to these before, but I just bought them yesterday at the Record Exchange. This is an EP from Death Cab for Cutie. I think this is from 2009. Again, I order them chronologically. And this album is Death Cab for Cutie. It's called Codes and Keys. I literally haven't listened to it before, but I like Plans and Transatlanticism, so I wanted to hear more of them. So I just bought this yesterday. I bought all four of those yesterday. Panic at the Disco. A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. I don't even know the name of it. But I feel like I just grouped this with Death Cab for Cutie because it seems similar to me. So there's that. White Stripes. What's this called? Get Behind Me, Satan. Then we have some early ones by the Killers. Hot Fuss. Yeah. Hot Fuss. Sam's Town. I like all three of these. Hot Fuss, Sam's Town, and Day and Age. Can you see that? Day and Age. But I've listened to Day and Age and Sam's Town a lot more than Hot Fuss. Even though I like Hot Fuss too. High Violet. This is the national only album of theirs that I know, really. But I've been listening to this recently. I really like the drumming on here. Like the drum player on this album just like goes off on every track. He's like, it's just got really interesting drums for some reason. And that's what makes, of course the main singer has that deep baritone, or is there something lower than baritone? He's got a really deep voice too. That's what adds to their sound. I don't know. Interesting album. High Violet. What else? I have some other random stuff here. Jeff Buckley, Grace. Beautiful singing. Haven't listened to it in a while, but very beautiful voice he has. Yo La Tengo. I've heard a few tracks by them. I got this just randomly. I haven't really listened to this. There's a number of things in here I haven't listened to, but I mean to at some point, hopefully. M. Ward. What is this even called? Transistor Radio, M. Ward. He's another interesting character. I like his guitar playing. I think he has some interesting sounds in his voice and his guitar playing that are kind of unique. And you can even hear it on some of the she and him stuff, which I have, I'll get into later. But yeah, M. Ward, Transistor Radio. M. Ward. What's this? Transfiguration of Saint Vincent. I can remember back when we did iTunes that I had some M. Ward that just lived on my iTunes, but this is my first time recently actually having his physical CDs. Now I'm going to get into this little electronic music section and then jazz. I've still got a number of things to go, so I'll try and go a little quicker maybe. Bonobo. I have 4 CDs by him. I'll go backwards. So this is his most recent one that just came out January 2022 called Fragments. I can't say I'm crazy about it compared to his other albums, but I have a feeling it's going to grow on me. There's a few tracks in particular, track 5 and track 7, the one called Tides and then Closer. Those tracks I love. The rest of it's kind of like good, okay. Nothing really stands out to me, but I had to buy it because I love him. So Bonobo, Fragments, Bonobo, Migration. Gorgeous stuff on here. We're just going backwards through his discography here. North Borders. And then Bonobo or Bonobo. I don't know how to say it. I guess people say Bonobo. Black Sands. Absolute classic, but I love all these. I listen to these a lot. These 3, Black Sands, North Borders, and Migration. And now Fragments. He has albums before that, which I would like to buy at some point. This is from 2010 and onwards, but I haven't heard his earlier stuff that much. Anyways, we move on from Bonobo to Odessa, A Moment Apart. This was the same year as Migration, 2017. That's like the first year I really started getting into electronic stuff, so I remember hearing these at the same time, A Moment Apart and Migration. Different styles, but Odessa, I really did not like him that much at first compared to Bonobo, but over time I started to get into it. Also really good workout music. Again, very motivational, makes you feel like you're at a big festival or something. A Moment Apart, Odessa. In Return by Odessa. The CD for In Return I actually keep in this other case, because the case for In Return is like kind of messed up, so to the point where like this, the CD would fall out of here. But those are 2 by Odessa. I like those 2 a lot. Flume. We're just going through my electronic stuff here. Flume. I guess this is his self-titled album, just called Flume. Can't say I like him as much as Bonobo or Odessa, but again, he's more comparable to Odessa in the style. And I do like this one considerably, actually. I say I don't like it that much, but it was actually, according to Spotify, one of my most listened to artists of last year. Flume. And our next guy, Porter Robinson. We have, what is this? Nurture, his album from 2021. This I've listened to countless times by now. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. And then we have Worlds. Again, I really like Worlds a lot. I don't read a lot of music reviews, but for some reason I started looking into reviews of this album. I don't know why, but Worlds. And I want to say Nurture was better received than Worlds. I don't know if that's right, but it seems like Worlds has mixed reviews. or some people just say it sounds a little generic, more so than Nurture, I guess, but I really love this album. This is another album where, I was talking about Death Cab for Cutie plans, and I said there's not a boring moment on there. That's how I feel about Worlds. There's just not one moment on this album where I'm bored or it loses my attention the whole way through. I love even the tracks that should be not as exciting, that should be kind of boring and feel kind of boring, are still like really engaging for me. Still pretty interesting, like pretty good. So that's like a sign for me that I really think an album is really, really special. Okay, moving on. We're sort of almost through my electronic section. So the last two that I have in my electronic music section of my CD collection is Grimes, Art Angels. Really good. I don't know. Interesting. I'll just try and go a little faster here. Art Angels, Grimes' second album, I think. This is her, don't quote me on it, but I believe her first album called Visions, which I heard after her second album, Art Angels. I don't like this as much as Art Angels, but still good, definitely. All right, moving on. My very small hip hop section, literally 2 albums. Again, I used to have a lot more CDs, and I did have a little bit bigger of a hip hop section, but I haven't bought many yet. But anyways, Swimming, Mac Miller. Another album where I cannot tell you how many times I've played this album. An insane amount of times. Since in 2018 when I had it with my old collection of CDs. I haven't listened to this so much in 2020 or 2021, but 2018, 2019, probably I was playing this literally all the time. Yeah. Mac Miller, Swimming. Okay. Rihanna, Auntie. A lot of good tracks on here. Yeah. Moving on. We have our jazz section now. Bill Evans, one of my favorite pianists. Waltz for Debbie. Beautiful stuff. Sunday at the Village Vanguard. Again, just really relaxing. Just gorgeous the way he voices things and his solos and everything, and so creative and expressive. I love that stuff. Adam's Apple, Wayne Shorter. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do I need to do commentary on each one? I'm not sure. That just makes it kind of longer, right? Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. Before Bitches Brew, you had this one, which is called In a Silent Way. It's very similar to Bitches Brew, but not as well known, at least in popular culture, but similar concept, long drawn out electronic fusion jazz kind of stuff. Around Midnight, I've definitely listened to this one more than Bitches Brew, or I like the earlier Miles stuff a lot. Like, I'm a big fan of like classic jazz kind of stuff. So Round About Midnight. Is that what it's called? It's not called Round Midnight. Round About Midnight. Sorry. I really like Bye Bye Blackbird on here. All of You. Probably those two are my favorite. Bye Bye Blackbird, All of You, and then Round Midnight. But it's all good. Birth of the Cool. This is a very old Miles Davis. I want to say this is in the 1940s, 1945 or 6. I don't know. But this is really good stuff. Yeah, Miles Davis. What else? This is a pretty recent purchase. Blossom Dearie is this is called the Complete Verve Albums, 1957 to 61. I remember when I was at the store getting this, they had a similar thing for Bill Evans where it was like 12 albums on 6 discs or something, whereas this is like 6 albums that were originally on vinyl, of course, on like 3 discs. And for Blossom Dearie, I was like, okay, I could do that. But for Bill Evans, I would want to just buy each album separately. But since I'm not as big a fan of her, but as Bill Evans, of course, but basically it's, I started listening to this the past couple weeks and I actually really like this. It's very sort of simple jazz. I don't know. It's really not overly complicated, the arrangements or the solos or anything. I just like how simple it is, and it's almost like it's easy to listen to. It's very relaxing. So Blossom Dearie, she also has a really, her voice is like quintessential old, I don't know, it just transports you to the 50s or 60s or something. It seems very like the epitome of, I don't know, of that age. It just places you in that time period very well. Another thing that places you in the time period very well, this is Django Reinhardt, 1947 to 1951. Pretty into that one too. I have to be in the mood for that, for Django Reinhardt or Blossom Dearie, but when I really am in the mood for those kind of things, I like it a lot. Nina Simone. This one's just called The Essential Nina Simone. I really haven't listened to this much, but I own it, so I should listen to it sometime. Although a lot of the tracks on here I haven't even heard of. So I don't know. Whatever. Gloria Estefan, Mi Tierra. Tierra. I can't roll my R's, but I do actually speak Spanish. I studied Spanish and learned Spanish. I use Spanish at my work a lot. So this is one of the albums I have that is in Spanish. And it's got some beautiful lyrics. This is like a Cuban style music. This is a really classic album. Ray Charles, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music, another classic album. I haven't listened to this recently, but I've definitely listened to it before. This is an interesting one. This is, I don't know if you've ever heard lo-fi hip-hop on like YouTube or Spotify, but this is a compilation of lo-fi hip-hop beats, like the beats to still chill and study to. I actually bought their CD, and this was like $40, and they shipped it from Europe. But this is called the Chill Hop Essentials Summer 2021. And I wanted to listen to lo-fi, not on Spotify or YouTube, but I wanted an actual CD of it. So even though it was twice as much as a normal CD, I'm glad I have it. This guy is a guy who I played some music with before, Alex Heel. So he's just sort of a local musician, but this is one of his albums. I Love Paris. And another one by him, Once Upon a Summertime. Okay. Then I have She and Him, Volume 1. She and Him, Volume 2. She and Him, Volume 3. I got these all from my sister because she gave me some of her old CDs, and that was just in her collection that I inherited recently.